Hey guys, it's Rolando, and today we're going to be going over behavioral theories for promoting exercise. So, there are many models and theories that exercise professionals use to kind of promote health and health education among their clients. Some of these theories are your social cognitive theory, trans theoretical model, health belief model, self determination theory, theory of planned behavior, and your social ecological model. Today, what I'll be going over are the trans theoretical model, health belief model, and social ecological model. So, the trans theoretical model. This is a model that shows the different stages that individuals are at when they're undergoing a behavioral change. And this is a really great model for exercise professionals because they can tailor interventions to be very specific to an individual depending on what stage of the trans theoretical model they're at. There are 5 stages in the trans theoretical model. There is pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. So we're going to go into a bit of detail for each stage, starting with pre-contemplation. Pre-contemplation, the individual is not aware and is uninformed and has no intention at all to begin an exercise program. In the next stage, contemplation, the individual becomes aware of the problems that arise with not being physically active and starts thinking about changing their habits within the next 6 months. Preparation. And I wanted to just quickly add in, starting with contemplation all the way down through maintenance, the individuals are educating themselves on how to promote exercise and other behavioral changes in their life, and it goes up with each stage. So back to preparation. With preparation, there's an intention to take action within the next 30 days. And this could be the individual going out and purchasing exercise equipment or a gym membership, kind of solidifying that they're going to be starting their program very soon. The next stage is action, and this is them exercising for less than 6 months, just starting their exercise intervention and program. The next and final stage, quote unquote final, is maintenance. And maintenance is just an individual exercising for more than 6 months, continuing to educate themselves and replacing other bad habits. And the reason that I said, quote unquote, the final stage is because this model actually kind of works in a cycle because individuals can relapse at any point in the model. So if an individual is at action, they could go back down to preparation or contemplation or even pre-contemplation where they just completely give up on their exercise program. But the good thing about this model is kind of showing that even when they do relapse, they can still go back into the next stage and just continue to work on becoming more physically active, even with relapses. And usually when individuals reach that maintenance stage, one big part of it is also finding ways to prevent relapses from happening. So finding new ways to exercise, kind of keeping it fresh so that they don't relapse. Moving on, we're going to be going over the health belief model. And the health belief model is an individual's beliefs and perception of exercise benefits and risks influence their readiness to act. The table we're going to be looking at comes straight out of the ACSM's guidelines for exercise testing and prescription, and it shows us the 6 constructs that are a part of the health belief model. The first construct is perceived susceptibility, which is beliefs about the chances of getting a disease or condition if they do not exercise. So a lot of people um, don't realize the risks of physical inactivity, and once they become aware of that, it kind of invokes a behavioral change in wanting to begin to exercise. So, as you can see, the change strategy here is to explain risk information based on their current activity, family history, and other behaviors. The next construct is perceived severity. So, beliefs about the seriousness and consequences of a disease and condition as a result of inactivity. Because you can educate someone on the, you know, risks of being physically inactive and tell them about their family history if they have family history of cardiovascular disease or hypertension and other risk factors. You can educate them on this, but it's up to them to decide how serious it is. And depending on their belief is on whether or not they'll be able to start an exercise program to have that motivation to have a behavior change. The next construct is perceived benefits, beliefs about the effectiveness of exercising to reduce susceptibility and severity. So, another thing as an exercise professional that you would want to do is educate them on the benefits of exercise, how it can lower risk factors that are related to cardiovascular disease that could lead to, cardiac events happening later on in life. Moving on to perceived barriers, beliefs about the direct and indirect costs associated with exercise. So, of course, with exercise, there are always some kind of problem that can arise when beginning an exercise prescription. So, you would give them information on how to minimize any kind of burden, whether it's, oh, they don't want to pay for a gym membership. Well, they don't always necessarily have to go to the gym to begin exercising. They can walk around their neighborhood, or even buy some exercise equipment to use at home. The next construct are cues to actions. And these are factors that activate the change process and get someone to start exercising. So, one cue to action that could be is, kind of a life changing event for an individual, like an immediate family member passing away from heart failure. And this could be due to physical inactivity. And once they realize that, you know, something like that could happen to themselves, this is a cue that they need to change. And as an exercise professional, you can also help them look for other cues. So, if you go over their family history and you see that they have a family history of heart failure, you can point this out as kind of a way to lead them into beginning an exercise program. The last construct, and probably the most important, is self efficacy. And this is confidence and the ability to exercise or just to perform any action. And this is something that's important through all of the models and theories that are used to promote exercise. Because at the end of the day, it comes to whether or not the individual that wants to begin the exercise program has the confidence to continue that program and to perform exercise activities. The last model we're going to be going over is the social ecological model. And this model shows the relationship to exercise between the individual and their environment. This graph nicely shows each level of the social ecological model and how directly it affects the individual. So, from bottom up, uh, the closer it is to the bottom, the more direct it affects the individual. So, of course, at the very bottom, in the first level, is individual or intrapersonal. And this involves the knowledge, attitude, and skills associated with exercise. So, how knowledgeable is the individual about the benefits and risks associated with exercise and physical inactivity, and of the resources available around them. The next level is interpersonal, which involves family, friends, and social networks. This is really important because the people around them, around the individual, really affects their views on exercise. If they're surrounded by people who really enjoy physical activity, then they're going to want to participate in it. They're surrounded by individuals who don't enjoy physical inactivity, they're more likely to be sedentary and just kind of follow along with them. The next level is organizational, and these are organizations and social institutions like schools, YMCA's, and other local organizations that would kind of help promote exercise, by getting that community involvement and getting people together to do one thing. The next level is community, and by community, this means their kind of physical community. So, what is available to them? This really affects an individual's ability to exercise. For example, are there walking trails available near that individual? How far away are gyms? Are there other local places that um, would allow them to exercise? uh, and other physical aspects by just how nice is the area that they're exercising, like parks, how well kept are they, and other things like, is their neighborhood safe? The last level of this model is public policy, and that can be national, state, and local laws. So some of this could be just like um, you know, what kind of physical education programs are available to them. And, this could be for people in school and outside of school. And this can really greatly affect the individual, like especially right now, even with COVID, having to stay inside, whether it's quarantining because you've tested positive or just because of a statewide shutdown. That's everything that I have for y'all today. Thanks for listening and have a good day.